Most traders think that you need a different strategy for every market, but I'm about to show you something that changed everything for me. I took the same setup on FTSE and DAX, two totally different markets, and the charts literally moved the same way. One system, copy and paste. Hey, what's good guys? It's Nix, and today I am breaking down two trades that I took on FTSE and DAX. And the goal here is to prove something important. This isn't a system that just works on one pair. You can use these concepts on any single market, but let's just get right into it. All right, so starting with FTSE or UK100, I always start at a higher time frames, and I'm already on replay mode because this did happen a couple days ago, but we can go to the higher time frames. And first things first, what am I looking for? I'm looking to see where we're sitting at within the hourly time frame. We can actually go up into the 4-hour too to get an overall bigger picture on what price has been doing. We can see that price had this bullish expansion, had a pullback, and had this next bullish expansion. And just like over here, when we saw that first bullish expansion, what did we see? We saw a pullback. So we can only assume that that's going to continue to happen as price continues to trend bullish on the higher time frames. And no, I'm not taking my trade on a higher time frame, but this is important information to understand that since price did make a new high on the 4-hour, we can ultimately expect price to have another pullback. So as we go down to the lower time frames, we get a little bit more of a clear image, basically the same image on the hourly where we see this hourly bullish expansion. And our goal is to ultimately look for bearish internal structure to now target the pullback. So now that we understand the overall higher time frames, I can now go down to the 15-minute and ultimately the 5-minute where I look for entry. But just looking at the 15-minute, I was already able to see that we did start shifting structure. To get a little bit of a clear image, I would have to go to the 5-minute before I did enter, because I did enter over, actually entered over here, where originally we were still bullish. Okay, so prior to market open, or at least London open when I do trade, we were still trending in a bullish manner, meaning that we could have continued within this internal bullish trend and just continued higher and higher. But the reason I did end up taking sells is because after market open, we saw price end up making a new low, changing character within that internal structure. And ultimately at that point, I knew I could look for a pullback of that lower time frame leg, because you guys have to remember, I'm not just looking for those pullbacks and continuations on higher time frames. Yes, they're a lot more probable when you see them on the higher time frames, but when you go to lower time frames, you still see the same structural movement, higher highs, higher lows, and you see price moving in a wave-like pattern. Okay, it's repeatable. You see it every single day. So now that we saw that, all I did was draw up my fib to identify that price has now come down or come into a deep enough area within this pullback to validate my buys. As price got into equilibrium, I did just end up setting my limits there, stops above the highs, and I went for a simple 1 to 2 risk to reward. Super simple, super easy. And as you can see, price did end up playing out into my desired area. We actually played a little bit deeper. And the reason we did play deeper is because if we go back to the 4-hour time frame and we mark this new 4-hour leg from that we talked about earlier, we can see that price did actually come to facilitate the pullback down into equilibrium. The majority of the times, price will at least come into the 50% or the equilibrium of that bullish leg or a bearish leg if it was the other way around. So that could have been the reason price continued to dip further down, due to the fact that we are ultimately looking, and our main objective was to facilitate that pullback before possible further expansion. And as you can see, I believe we did actually continue to expand further back higher because of the fact, again, what happened? Expansion, pullback, expansion, pullback, expansion. And what can we assume will happen probably later next week? Another pullback, just because we are trending within that bearish manner. And we have to remember, price moves in waves, okay? So that was a beautiful setup there. Beautiful. So again, that was a beautiful setup, and this is repeatable on almost every market. I could literally say every single market. But by the way, if you guys are liking these videos, how I'm showing you how to use these concepts on multiple different markets, comment more down below so I know to post more of these videos. All right, now let me show you the crazy part though. So we can actually go over to DAX now, where the same day I did take another trade. In this case on UK100, we took sells, right? We did end up looking for that pullback within that bullish expansion, causing us to take sells. With DAX, we ended up taking buys. And this one is a little bit different in the sense that we weren't playing the actual pullback, but let me explain it a little bit deeper. So if we go to the higher time frames, one thing we can see is, first things first, from a higher time frame standpoint, is if we are looking at this 4-hour leg, we see that price did end up having this bullish expansion, making a new high here. And what did we see? We saw a pullback. Where did price come into? Came into the 50%. What did we see after that? We saw price continue to expand, making a new high, and then continue with that overall bullish internal structure. This is a picture perfect setup, right? Just because on UK100 we took technically a counter trend trade looking to catch that pullback. In this case, the pullback already happened and we're now looking to continue with price back up. Again, these concepts, they're super, super promising in the sense that it is just how the market moves. If you can understand these concepts, multi-time frame analysis, premium discount, and overall how this price moves, you're going to make money. So now we can go down to lower time frames just to get a more of a clear image. And this is what I was talking about, that internal structure. After we came down and hit the equilibrium right here, we saw price expand higher, creating that new high. We had a pullback within this hourly leg here, as you can see. And then what did we continue to do? We continued to go back up. And what could we have assumed price was going to do? Make a new high. Because one, the 4 hours bullish, we've already completed a pullback. And two, the internal structure has already shown us that we're bullish, or at least looking to continue going bullish. And that's what we can ultimately expect price to do, is just continue with that overall bullish trend. So as I came down to the lower time frames before market open, I was just identifying, okay, what are we looking like? Where are we sitting at within the lower time frame trends? And we can see the 15-minute was creating this bullish expansion. We had a pullback, and ultimately we did start making new highs as we continued up within this bullish trend. So as I go down to the 5-minute to look for entry, I'm simply just identifying one, that within this structure here, we had a breaker structure, we had a pullback, we had a breaker structure, had a pullback, breaker structure, I believe here. And then what do we see? We saw price pullback, okay, within this last leg here. So being that we saw price pullback within this last leg here, ultimately, again, with the 4-hour bias, the hour bias, and now the 5-minute confirming that we're trending bullish still, even within the fractal structure, we see price come in respect this area. We can assume once we break these highs, we're probably going to just shoot, okay? We're probably just gonna continue higher. So stops or entry was there, stops were at the low, and my TP was another 1 to 2. And as you can see, price hit that beautifully. I mean, absolutely perfectly. And if we go to the higher time frames, what did we see price do? We saw price take those highs, okay? Again, beautiful, beautiful setup. And ultimately, what can we continue to expect? Obviously, price may not go all the way up from here on out, but what did we see after? We saw price make that new 1-hour high. We saw price pull back. I'm pretty sure it hit the equilibrium. It may not have. There it is. And it pulled back. So again, we could have caught these sells back down to the downside. Ultimately, we weren't going to do that. We're not going to just take another trade because it looks good. It was out of our session, but this just goes to show price continues to play out with that structure, that wave-like pattern. As you can see, price then after that pullback went higher. Again, super simple to follow the structure. Break a structure, pullback, break a structure, pullback, break a structure. And again, we could have caught these buys back up, and I think I actually did. So there'll be another video on that. But guys, this is the secret to making money. It's just understanding multi-time frame analysis, how to read all time frames, how they all align in some way, shape, or form, and then the understanding of how to enter, why you're entering, and when you're entering, okay? Again, I enter during London session. I love London session, especially on these two markets where they are European-based, meaning they do move a lot more during that London Open. But I do use the same system on NASDAQ. I can use it on gold. I can use it on any Forex pair. Guys, this system is repeatable anywhere. So feel free to go ahead and take what I just taught you and go and apply it to your markets right now, even if it's not the exact entry model, but just the understanding of the higher time frame concepts that price will move in waves. Price or institutions and banks will get pushed up into a premium price. At that premium price, will get pushed down into a discounted price, so it's cheaper to buy it back up into a higher or more expensive price. And it just follows that same pattern until price decides to flip. But even when it flips, it does the same thing. Price will sell off into a discounted price where institutions and banks will buy it back up into a higher price to ultimately go and sell it back into a discounted price to continue to buy it back up into a higher price. And then they'll continue that overall pattern until price flips again. Guys, it is so simple to understand these concepts once you actually apply yourself and start to really focus on higher time frame analysis and how price truly moves. So the biggest takeaway from this video is to stop searching for multiple strategies. You don't need to have 10 different strategies. All you need to do is master one framework that works across anything. If you understand liquidity, price action, premium, and discount, you can honestly trade any market in this world. So before we end the video, I'm going to announce the winners from last video's giveaway. So the person that won the 100K account is Ada 3646. I think that's what it is. Ada, I'll pop you up right here. If you're the winner, if you end up watching this video, go ahead, DM me on Discord, Instagram, Telegram, wherever you can DM me. There's a lot of places. But for everyone watching now, if you guys do not know, I do a giveaway every single video. So on this video, all you have to do is like, comment, subscribe, and in the next video, I'll pick one of my comments to win a free 100K funded account. So again, Ada, congratulations on the win. I hope one of you guys are next to win. Again, just comment and you'll be entered into the giveaway. I appreciate you guys for watching. Remember, one system, that's all you need. But I'll see you guys in the next video.